So now that I know the values I want for the inductors, because I keep a load of used inductors I've removed from various speakers just so I've got lots of set values. But yeah, now I know what I want. I'm winding the inductor for the tweeter and super tweeter. So I'm making use of some of the offcuts of wire I've got because they're only small values. So yeah, the winding machine is back out in action. Right, so that's one of the crossovers put together. So I'll put a proper picture of the crossover circuit up after this, but yeah, basically on our woofer circuit we come in through a 1.5 millihenry inductor and we carry on to our woofer, and then we have a 12 microfarad capacitor down to ground, so second order. We also have a 25 ohm resistor bridging this inductor, which is really for some baffle step correction. And then on our HF1300 tweeter we come into 8.2 microfarad capacitor with a 0.19 inductor, millihenry inductor down to ground, which I've wound. We then carry on to our positive of our tweeter through a 2.2 ohm resistor. So again, second order. And then on our, what I'm calling our super tweeter, but it's really just extending the range of the 1300, a 1 microfarad cap with a 0.12 millihenry inductor down to ground, which I've wound, and into the positive of our super tweeter. So this is it all laid out here. So we've got our woofer inductor with our positive coming into the bottom of that, with two 10 ohm resistors bridging that. So our woofer output will go off of here, and the 12 microfarad capacitor I'll put across the woofer terminals rather than have it on here as well. And then for our tweeter circuit we carry on into our 8.2, and we come out of that 8.2 into this resistor, picking up our inductor down to ground, and then we go out on our 2.2, and then on our super tweeter circuit we come in through our 1 microfarad cap here out to our positive of our super tweeter, and this is the inductor for the super tweeter. So that's going to be the negative in, which I've got a black wire on. That'll be the negative out to the super tweeter, and I'll probably pick up the woofer there as well. And then this will be our negative out for our tweeter, positive out for our tweeter. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, sorry this is a bit of a nothing video really. It's more going to be about the crossovers and the measurements really. In part 2 you saw the cabinets all finished, the drivers all fitted, covers done and everything else. So yeah, that's kind of physically them done. So obviously I set up my measurement space and probably spent a morning designing the crossovers for these. I sort of roughed them out initially and then had a quick listen to them and then carried on addressing a few things. Excuse me. And they've ended up turning out really, really well. I'll show you some pictures in a minute. In fact, I'll put the pictures in now of where they live in the snug. Yeah, so they now live in the snug and they've been in there for about a week. And when I first fitted them and started playing them, I was really, really impressed. Before I talk any further about them, this is the on-axis measurement I ended up with. And as you can see, it's turned out really well. The crossover point between the woofer and the HF1300 is about 2.3 kilohertz, which is nice and low. And the peerless tweeter I'm using, I'm calling it a super tweeter, but really it's extending the range of the HF1300, which just drops off a cliff at 13k. And they sound fantastic. That 8-inch woofer in there works brilliantly. They're not mega bassy, but you probably heard me talk in my previous videos that I wasn't after anything seriously bassy, hence sort of staying with a sealed enclosure because of where they live. They sit each side of the fireplace away from the wall a bit, and there is a bit of bass reinforcement because of that. So I didn't want anything that would play mega low. I mean, I've played them in the lounge as well, and they are good. They work bloody well with a subwoofer as well, so I'm really pleased with them. Top end is lovely from that HF1300, and just having the peerless tweeter extending its range up a bit, really nice. Mid-range is good. They're just an enjoyable speaker, and for what we're going to use them for in there, they are probably too good really to be in there because they're probably just going to get wasted in there. I mean, I will listen to music in there. My daughter games a lot in there, as I do as well, so they get used for that. But they've just turned out really, really well. So if you have a pair of these and this is something you want to do to yours, just go back through the videos. I've put up the crossover design and how I've built it. You can see what I've done to the cabinet in the other video. It's a fantastic conversion. It's turned those counties into something yeah, pretty decent really. So I showed you the on-axis measurement. I've also taken some horizontal measurements which really show how well the drivers are in phase over quite a range. So I'll put that in now. So hopefully, as you can see from that, going up to 30 degrees horizontally, that's as far as I went with the measurements, there really is no change. Yeah, they just work really nicely. It was one of those conversions that just worked out. I didn't really have to go back and address anything. So yeah, it's been good really. So yeah, sorry this is a bit short but sweet. The idea is I'm going to keep these in the snug now, and they just look nice on a pair of stands that I built. So yeah, I think they'll probably be a keeper, although something else has come walking along that might take their place. So these might end up on eBay. We shall see. I don't know. I've got something else that would be nice in there too. Anyway, this sort of concludes this one. I might in the future do some sound clips, but yeah, I think it's done really. So cheers for watching. Just a quick roundup really. Catch you soon.